Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Smith and everybody.
God, what level of enthusiasm we have this afternoon. Okay, so we're into July. This is the penultimate week of term. And there's been lots of things going on over the weekend. In fact, were they calling it something like Super Saturday or something? There was some phrase they were saying about all these different things that were happening at the weekend. So let's have a look at the images. So yeah, over you go. So this was yesterday. So can anyone tell me what this was about yesterday? Because there was some clapping that went on at 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Go on, Navra.
At Sunday, 5 o'clock every week, there's something to do.
Not every week. No, this was just yesterday, and it's going to be once a year. Does anyone know what it was for?
The NHS?
Was for the NHS. It's basically to commemorate or remember when the NHS began. So it was a 72-year anniversary yesterday. So rather than doing the clapping on a Thursday, which stopped a few weeks ago actually, they're looking to do this each year. So it was a 72nd year anniversary of the formation of the NHS. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but the National Health Service, we're very lucky to have that in our country, because the vast majority of other countries don't have that. Okay, so if you live in America, for example, and you're poorly and you have to go to hospital, you have to pay, you get a bill, or you have to have special insurance to pay. Whereas if we're ill, we can just go to the Lister or wherever and we don't have to pay. So we're actually very lucky. Next slide, please. So based on that, a lot of different places all had special lights on. Number 10 was all blue. This is the London Eye, as it was called, and you've got blue there, but this is cool as well. I thought this was great. And if you've been here, this used to be the old County Hall building, but I think now that's where you go to the aquarium, the National Aquarium and things. There's a McDonald's there, of course. It's all very good. I don't know if that's opened yet, the aquarium. Not sure, possibly. But I loved all this. I thought this was great. But no, there were blue lights, and they showed the Shard had a blue light all across the top of the Shard. So all of it was to do with this 72nd year anniversary of the NHS. Next one. So this is Boris Johnson doing his clap, and the reason I'm showing it is to show his hair actually, because I'm looking around here and some of you not too bad, but now you can go to the hairdressers or the barbers, and apparently there were huge great big queues. Next one please. Because you can now have your hair cut. As you can probably tell, mine hasn't been done yet. But my sons have been shaving their hair, so they don't have to worry too much. But people could from midnight or 12:01 on Saturday morning go and have their hair cut. And some people did go, and they had special openings just after midnight to go and have their hair cut. But again, people have to wear shields and things and face masks when they're having their hair done. So lots of different things. Next one. So this was the fact that now pubs and restaurants and things can open. Not all have, but there has to be special things in place just to make sure there's social distancing and things like that. But that all, again, that started on Saturday in England. Okay, next one. And this is because all art galleries and things can open now. This is the Louvre in Paris. Don't know if you can spot which artwork this is. Can you see what it is? What's it called?
Mona Lisa.
The Mona Lisa. Do you know who painted it? Oh. Phone a friend.
Louis da Vinci.
Not Louis da Vinci. I've never heard of Louis da Vinci. It's very close, but it's not Louis.
Van Gogh.
No. Leonardo da Vinci, although I think he could have been known as Louis, who knows, because he's been gone a long time. But yes, so the Mona Lisa. But if anyone has ever been to the Louvre or ever seen some of these really, really famous pieces of art, when you go to the galleries, you can't normally see them because there's so many people in front of them. So actually, it could be quite a good time to see some of these things because there's hardly anyone there. Although again, face masks and things. Next one. Okay, so we had our sports week, and Miss Gregory was one of the people who organised it. But actually on BBC Bite Size this week, they've got a sports week as well. So if you're looking for things to do, let's hope it's warmed up a bit, because I'll be honest, I wish I'd got a jumper on. It's really quite cold today. But lots of different activities. So if you have a look on the BBC Bite Size, you will find all of those. And they've got a Bite Size day, they've got a sports day on Friday. So we'll have to see how that goes. Next one. Okay, so this is a reminder about the fact that this week we've got reception year 1 and year 6 in, as well as our key worker groups. But from next week, we're having picnics each day, so that everyone across the school can get into school, see their classmates from a distance, see their teachers from a distance, and see their new teachers from a distance. But for the year 6, obviously it's a chance to say goodbye. And there may be tears, or there may be cheers, or maybe a bit of both. And I know the year 6s, you've got your session on Friday. So I have booked a little bit warmer weather, so I'm hoping that happens, because it is absolutely freezing today. It's not good, is it? At least there's no wind. So emails have gone out today to remind people about special times that people need to arrive, what they need to bring, and what they can do on that day. Okay, so that's next week. Next one. I don't know if you remember this. This was from a few weeks ago, and I shared that there was some of these dogs that were being trained up to be able to detect COVID-19. Do you remember that? That was a long time ago.
Different names.
Yes, and they have, so you have dogs that can pick up on all sorts of things. They can smell things like explosives or drugs, and you have got some that can pick up on illnesses. And there's an update on Newsround that just saying that they're really making some good advances with this, and they think they should be able to have dogs ready to be able to detect COVID-19 on humans, which would be amazing, because unfortunately it's going to be with us for a while. We're just going to have to sort of get to learn to live with it, really. Okay, now last week there was a request. I think there might have been a request for some creature. Let's have a look. So I've bowed to pressure, and I've found a photo of a raccoon, and I thought this one was quite cute because he looks like he's almost like waving. And Miss Gregory reckons it's like jazz hands, so he's like going, "Hi, I've just been in a bin." Because if you look at the habits of raccoons, I don't know, they eat absolutely anything, and they go absolutely anywhere to get that food. But anyway, this one looks very clean, looks like he's been washed. It doesn't look like he's covered in any rubbish or anything from a bin. And he's doing jazz hands as if to say, "Hi, Hartsfield." But anyway, it did make me laugh. But as I said, I was bowing to pressure from this group of year 6s. Okay, now this will be my last assembly for this academic year, because next week we've got picnics going on and everything else. And my camera woman obviously is going to be busy as well, aren't you, Miss Gregory? So I won't be doing an assembly next week. However, I'm going to be doing newsletters this week. There's going to be lots of information coming through. And hopefully I'll see everyone when you come to the picnics next week. So rather than see me on video, you'll be able to see me in the flesh. Lucky you. Okay, have a good week, and I'll see you all soon.